But as for how to quench dark, negative thoughts and how to trample upon any guilt or condemnation you may be feeling, check this out. Woof woof. The more your eyes see yourself as punishable for behavior which fails to measure up to God's pristine standards, the less you're seeing yourself like the dog that Jesus said you are. Thankfully, nobody watching this video has to be told what a dog is. But if in the back of your head, there's a voice saying, I can behave myself better than some mangy mutt, then you wouldn't be dealing with guilt and condemnation, self-inflicted or otherwise. Adam didn't sin but one time to bring about the fall of creation, all of creation. My advice to you, take the dog route that the omniscient, all-knowing Son of God is offering you. Better to lead the pack of canines in excellence than to lag behind the Jews, which he called to a higher standard. You don't get brownie points for good behavior here. Unmasking is what he desires of you. On to the next portion of my promise. Just how forgiven are you for your trespasses? I'll answer this question with another question. Can dogs read the 10 Commandments, let alone understand them? You might think I'm taking this Gentile canine typology a bit too far. And I would say, on the contrary, we Gentiles have taken the hypocrisy, pretending to be what you are not, of behaving like the Jews when we don't even have the epigenetic foundation that the Jews have, a bit too far. Romans 5:17. For if because of one man's trespass, death reigned through that one man, much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. It took Adam number 1 to bring the fall of creation. And it took Adam number 2, a better Adam, God's only begotten Son, to correct his mistake. But in so doing, the amount of grace that was necessary wasn't mediocre. It wasn't a little. It wasn't some. We weren't going to reign in life through just a bit of grace and the free gift of righteousness. An abundance of it is absolutely necessary. So that abundance of grace, working in tandem with the free gift of righteousness, is the way through which anyone who comes to Jesus and receives his salvation, it is the way through which we will reign in life. And I can speak from experience when I say trying to live like something greater than a Gentile, trying to perform at a level higher than a dog, it just frustrates you. Dogs let go because they can't carry. In letting go, you let God. The more you work, the more God rests. But the more you rest, the more God works. So you being in a state of rest by being the dog that Jesus says you are, not trying so hard to be upright, you're giving God unmitigated territory, unmitigated access to be Him for your life. In so doing, His grace and abundance of it, because where sin increases, grace superabounds. And the result is more than you were ever reigning before, if you were reigning at all. I wasn't. The result is you reign in life. And if there's anything Jesus spoke caustically, scathingly about, it wasn't the prostitutes. He was friendly with the OnlyFans models of yesteryear. It also wasn't the tax collectors. He was chilling with the social outcasts of the olden days. But what he spoke acidically about was the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. Let me ask you this. If you, in your wisdom, engineered and created a spatula for the purpose of effortlessly flipping your pancakes in the morning, and this spatula, being sentient, insisted on being a strainer to separate the water from your pasta. Could it ever be of use to you? You are so forgiven that even under the old covenant of law, God said he removed our transgressions from us as far as the east is from the west. Psalm 103 and 12. So if today we are under a new covenant, characterized and defined by grace, how much more might we canines, we Gentiles, who God never gave the law to, be forgiven? If as far as the east is from the west is no longer a sufficiently comparable image to depict a new covenant's version of the very same leeway, and for a downgraded creation at that, it's sounding kind of like you can do no wrong, especially as a Gentile. And that is how forgiven you are. Water off a duck's back doesn't come close to exemplifying Jesus' ironclad punishment proofing to your inevitable wrongdoing. This is the brand new set of eyes I promised you. These eyes, like the light, shine in the darkness through your newfound comprehension of the born-again believer's blamelessness in Christ. Instead of being susceptible to getting swallowed up, chewed up, and utterly consumed by guilt and condemnation. These eyes can more acutely delineate the real from the fake, where it pertains to your accuser's accusations, the voice of critique he has cleverly disguised as your own, and other beginning cases of death at that. With how, quote-unquote, too good to be true all of this may sound to you, you got to understand the lengths to which God is willing to go to rescue those in need of his salvation. Go into all the world, is what he said about the Great Commission, to preach the gospel. And this world is a pretty dark place. Therefore, to be fair, his grace has to go where it can apply to the worst of us dogs, and not just the best of us. And if I were you, I'd take him up on his offer of redemption. How do you do that? Recite this with all sincerity. This will do the trick, if that trick hasn't already been performed for you.